Did they get this right? Every time there's a top 100, a top 50, top 10, anything hip hop list, controversy, arguments, debates, fights, all types of fussing and back and forths. They're never easy, and there's always going to be a million disagreements. We're going to go through the list itself from 50 all the way up to 1 and see how much we agree and disagree with. But it's very, very important that we set the rules, the parameters around this, okay? If you want to do, for example, like just lyricism, the list changes. If you want to do influence or sales, success, things like money come into play, right? The list changes again. So they have a criteria. We're going to read it before we pull up the 50 list. And it's very important that we remember the criteria that is set here as we go through the rankings, people, okay? So you got 50 best New York rappers of all time ranked, from pioneers like Rakim to legends like Jay-Z to newer icons like Pop Smoke and Cardi B. These are the 50 best New York rappers of all time. And look at all the people that they have submitting their input for this, over like 10 people. So it's not just one person to attack. All right. So hopefully, of this collective of people, we got some experienced hip hop heads. All right. See the date here, updated on May 27, 2026. That's yesterday at time of recording. All right. Peep the takeaways, people. This is important. This is a ranking of the 50 greatest New York rappers ever using lyrical ability, songwriting, influence, and cultural impact to trace hip hop's 50-year evolution from park jams to global dominance. Okay. So lyrical ability, that's an easy one for us to pick out. That's like the biggest ingredient of being a rapper, right? And when you're talking about New York rappers, that's like the biggest thing that New Yorkers and New York rap is known for, right? The lyrical ability, right? The lyricism. So that's going to be easy for us to rank. Songwriting, that changes things a little bit, okay? You can't just say lyrical ability. So let me take some of the greatest mixtape rappers of all time, and even people like a Cannabis, who dominated DJ Clue mixtapes and shit. And lyrically, he was killing a lot of his peers on featured tracks. Like, can he be number one then? No, songwriting, right? So that's where like a 50 Cent comes into play. Your bridges, your hooks, your choruses, the structure of your songs, right? Songwriting is a big deal. Influence. Influence to me isn't just about the music side of things. Influence to me is like, how do you make other people's adapt to you or change to you or copy or mimic what you're doing? You know what I'm saying? And it could be how you dress, how you talk, your slang, all different types of ways where we could see somebody's impact or their influence on other people, other rappers or fans, or just the hip hop culture as a whole. All right. And then you got cultural impact to trace hip hop 50-year evolution. The keyword evolution sticks out to me, from park jams to global dominance. So when you talk about park jams and you talk about like old school hip hop versus global dominance today, where we're one of the biggest commodities in the world, hip hop music, you got to look at key moments then. This is where we're going to look at a Michael Jordan. We're going to look at a Magic Johnson for bringing in Showtime. We're going to go fast forward and look at a Steph Curry for revolutionizing the three-point shot. We're going to look at a Manu Ginobili and a James Harden and the step back, traveling, whatever. We're going to look at these key moments in hip-hop where things elevated or they got revolutionized. Like Pac, he revolutionized things. Jay-Z revolutionized certain, we'll get there when we get there. But that criteria is very, very important. We have to take that into account as we go through the 50 spots, okay? Now let's do it. Let's bring up the list. All right, people, start flooding the comments. And I'm going to give you a reaction to all of this. And if you think I'm tripping, if you think I'm crazy on any of my reactions here, let me know. 50. French Montana. Let me tell you why I don't have a problem with French Montana on the list. This isn't the DVD era French Montana days, the mixtape era days. French Montana has become pretty globally known. I never thought that he would become as big of an artist as he's become. He has some very, very big songs. Hell, a lot of us just got reminded of that listening to some of his big records when he did his verses with Rick Ross about 2 weeks ago, right? So I'm not mad at that at all. After that, I'm going to skip some people here, okay? I mean, like, for example, I don't want to speak on A Boogie with the hoodie. Do I need him on the top 50? Maybe, maybe not. So I'm not. There's going to be certain people that you're not going to get much reaction from me for. 48, Lloyd Banks. part of me feels like he needs to be up higher. We're going to see people that he should be in front of. He does have a revolutionizing, to a degree, impact. He's not the first person to punch all over the place like that, but he put a big spotlight on it at the time. You know, his lyrical ability as well, his influence, not too much. He wasn't really a standout personality, didn't really have like a lot of a charisma to him, you know, but the revolutionizing side of things. And when you talk about songwriting, his solo album is one of the best solo albums to come out of the entire G Unit collective. Him and Young Buck, and of course Game's first one, and also was it Jesus Piece? Is that the one? Like Game got some classic albums, of course. Young Buck's album is dope, but Banks' album is crazy. Actually, he's got two albums. It's his first one that is damn near has no skippable tracks, if you ask me. The one that got like his face on like a bill, I think. Um, so I like him higher on the list, but he needs to be in the top 50. Biz Markie, you're talking about a revolutionizing, you're talking about a pioneer type of. I love him on the list. I'm not gonna do too much there. Styles P, I don't care what's to come. I need him higher than 46. This is the ghost. Revolutionizing wise, there's that time where you had like him, Hell Rel, a couple people talking about they was the hardest rappers out, and everything they rapped was about it just felt cold and concrete and gutter and straight behind the prison walls. And it was that type of shit. And he owned that. Being able to do all the back and forth features, him and Jada Kiss, and this is the ghost, man. I need him higher. Jim Jones, I've never been big on Jim Jones for his lyrical ability. Of course, I don't think many of us are. Songwriting, though, he makes up for it. You know, he's got good songs and he's got good albums. He's not no super lyrical guy like that at all, though. But his influence. Did he revolutionize things? Well, Diplomats as a group did, and he's a piece of that. So he needs to be on a list. I don't know if he needs to be moved up more. We'll see. Grand Puba, I like a Styles and a Jim Jones and a Lloyd Banks in front of Grand Puba. Now, I'm not. This is not about the times. I come from that era. I'm an '80s baby, so I respect the pioneers, and I know Grand Puba's moment and his movement. But some of these guys that we're talking about, that's before him, they've already surpassed the amount of work that they put in, influence, impact, and what they brought into the game. Fab, he's got to be on the list. Melly Mel, got to be on. I don't like ASAP Rocky in front of a bunch of people that we just named. I don't. Do I want him on a New York of top 50 list? Sure. But I don't need, definitely not in front of no fucking Styles and Jim Jones or Lloyd Banks. No. Or Fab. No. ASAP Rocky can't do that. Not at all. Kumo D. Man, you talking about somebody that revolutionized lyricism to a degree as well. I know a lot of people go, Rakim did that the most, but Kumo D is responsible for doing it too. We'll see. Nori, I love where he's at. See, the thing is, y'all are paying attention to the podcast and then some of these, you had to be there. Like when Nori came on a track, it was lights out. What? Like that shit. His NORE album, the CNN album, classic. Like Nori had a moment. It's even his second album. Was it the one with all the buildings in the background and all that? That's dope too. Nori got to be on the list. MC Light, pioneer. She's the first female entry, huh? Is she ahead of some of the names that I said so far? Questionable. Ja Rule. Some people don't even mind Ja Rule being higher on the list. I get it. His image, his reputation, he became the laughing stock of hip hop history books forever. And 50 Cent did that. It's one of the most wildest outcomes to a battle as far as how it follows you after ever. Like Drake is feeling that from Kendrick, and Ja Rule to this day from 50. It's the ghost that he could never get rid of. The impact of when he went back and forth for 50. To this day, they're going back and forth on airplanes and shit with Uncle Murder. like to this day. But what he did, his movement, the crooning, was he the first really? Yeah. To really popularize it, take it into these global smash hits. He featured with everybody and their mother. He ran rap. He was it. He was the man. His catalog is crazy. So his contribution to hip hop, he revolutionized things. He definitely was influential back then. His influence was great. Yeah. Cool Keith. I love it. Not ahead of some of the people I just said. ODB. I'm a Staten Islander. And I can't put ODB in front of a bunch of people that we just said. We love them. And I know we like to uphold our deceased as well. But I can't put ODB in front of many people that we just went with. But he is in the top 50. Foxy's movement was serious. I love Foxy's movement. Her and Kim, her time in the game was big. All right. Jizza, once again, you can't on as a solo. Now, oh wait, hold on. Liquid Swords. Shit. Because some of the people that I named don't have a classic album. Some of these people before him do not have a classic album. Jizza has a classic album in Liquid Swords. For that reason, I might leave him where he's at. See, I don't say ODB's album is a classic, so he definitely drops to me. But Jizza, I can't put Jizza in front of. Oh man, it's tough. It's tough. Okay, Fat Joe. Fat Joe got like 8 albums and shit. Fat Joe's influence as well, his longevity, his impact. I love where he's at. I'm not gonna argue about that. Cool G Rap. He could out rap today back like he was ahead of his time. Roots of Evil is still one of my favorite albums of all time. He's like so cinematic on that album. Like you could see his lyrics and his verses. Like it's all movie shit. Cool G Rap might need to be higher. Big L, influential, impact, and to this day is respected as one of the best rappers from New York. I'm cool with the spot. Mace's movement is another one because of the whole church thing and like his reputation, like Ja Rule, it took a hit. But his movement and his moment and his album, Harlem World, you talk about influence. People wanted to dress like the nigga, talk like the nigga. I saw on the podcast with Mano and Fab niggas the other day, they was joking, asking who got the Harlem World tats and all that. Like, nah, man. Like, leave him where he's at. Is he a lyricist ahead of a lot of people that we just named? No, but that's the point of the criteria. It alters shit a lot. Pop Smoke cannot be in front of Mace, Big L, Cool G Rap, Fat Joe, Jizza, Foxy Brown, ODB, Cool. Hold on. Can he be in front of any of these people? Pop Smoke? I don't think respectfully. And this is another one to me where it's the respecting of our lost soldiers and our lost stars. He had a moment, you know, but if he was alive today, they'd be wondering, are you going to be a one-hit wonder? What's the album's going to turn out like? Matter of fact, when his album came out, he had passed, right? Already. I think if I remember correctly. Pop Smoke, respectfully, is not ahead of anybody on this list that I named so far. That is a respect spot right there that he was given by Complex. So, I just wanted to be real about that. Raekwon, shit, only built for Cuban links. So that's like the impact of like Liquid Swords. It's like you have a super classic all-time hip-hop album. Like, gee, like Incarcerated Scarfaces is on it, right? Verbal Intercourse is on it, right? It's debatable if some of those people should be in front of him. No. Okay, Cardi B. That's the criteria, the impact. Now, when we talk about revolutionizing, the Cardi B's of the world got all these women turning into her and shit. See? Q-Tip, I love you, man. You got to drop down a little bit. in regards to some of these people that we named. Run, I know why they did that. I don't have him on 23. Chuck D, I don't have on 22. Method Man kind of checks every box to that criteria, which is so crazy because he's not lyrically ahead of Jizza or Raekwon. He's got more commercial success than those guys. Like I went to the Wu, was it this year? Their big Wu tour that they did. And I went and saw them live. And the way they came out was like one at a time before they were all on the stage and started doing their, collective songs together. And the biggest moment, like singular solo wise, is when Meth came out. He's always been the star of the group. He's not necessarily the best rapper of the group, but he's the star, most charismatic. You know what I'm saying? The guy that went on to do TV and movies and acting. So he greatly checks all of those boxes in the criteria, and that's why it's tough for me to argue him out of this spot. There's a lot of people that we named so far that don't check even 3 of those boxes. He checks every single one. Slick Rick got to drop down. If I'm using the criteria, I get it. We got the children's story and everything, and he is a pioneer. The revolutionizing and the influence of his jewelry game will be bar none number one. Always. He is that. He is the king of that. The trends, yeah. Big Daddy Kane, he was always my favorite of that era. You know what I'm saying? So I like Kane where he's at. Def, Most Def, I need him drop down a little bit too. Cam, I like where you at. I like Cam in front of Jadakiss, and I'll tell you why. I'm sorry, people, but Jadakiss, who a lot of people always say top 5 dead or alive, and they don't even say it on some New York shit. They just say for hip hop, period. Jadakiss doesn't have a classic album. Why? If you're gonna be the top 5 dead or alive, where's your classic album? I'm not kidding you when I say he might have the 3rd best album of the Locks. Because the first best solo is the what is it, the Walk With Me or whatever, is Chic. The one that gets the least amount of praise has the best all out as a collective body of work album. And then Styles' album is probably ahead of Jadakiss's too. Was it Kiss the Game Goodbye is his first one? So I think he's 3rd in the group as far as solo albums. Now, them collectively is a whole different story. You know what I mean? But their collective album. But so when we talk about Cam got multiple albums. Some people think his first album is a classic. For me, my favorite album is SDE. That is a certified classic. Come Home With Me, some people go with. Killer Season is dope. He's got more albums than a lot of people on his list. Then he's the leader of the Diplomats, which is one of the most impactful hip hop groups ever. He could argue, like they could walk around and argue, we the best rap group ever. They really can make that argument. They're not, but they can make the argument. Cam is in front of Kiss. And Cam and Jadakiss is both in front of Pun. Now, Pun got Capital Punishment. He got Yeah Baby. 2 possible classic albums. I think Capital Punishment is. I don't think Yeah Baby is a classic. But Jadakiss and Cam have just done. See, the thing about Pun, similar to some of what I might feel about Big, he didn't have an opportunity to do more than most of these guys. They've just been here much, much longer, putting in so much more work. The impact of Pun was ridiculous. He's one of them niggas. I like him in the top 20. I just don't need him in front of like a Kiss or a Cam. I like where Ghostface is at. See, the thing about Ghostface, well, I do like Ghost in front of Ray and Jizza. I don't know if you're using that whole collective criteria if he checks the boxes the way that Meth does. But Ghost has, as a total library, if you scale everybody's solo albums from the Wu, Ghost is the top person. Because he has Iron Man, he has Supreme Clientele, and he has Wizard of Poetry. Those are three classics, and he might be able to argue some other shit, but those are three classic albums, undeniable classic albums. He has three of them bitches. Little Kim, I ain't gonna lie, man. I like where she's at. She's until Nicki, like it's her. Like she's the pioneer to Nicki, right? She's not the first female rapper, but she still feels like the first big queen that crossed, all areas and arenas and became that big. And when I say queen, no disrespect to like a Queen Latifah. And is Queen Latifah's from New York? Why how come we didn't see Queen Latifah? But anyway, I don't mean like the first queen like that. You guys know what I mean. Her movement was too big. Lil Kim. She's still to this day out here doing shows with her bullshit. Prodigy gotta come beneath a bunch of people that we named. H&IC is a dope album. It's not a classic. Him as a solo artist, if you take him outside of his group, just as a solo artist, the whole Keep It Thorough moment was big for him. But nah, he's not gonna make the top 20 in front of a lot of these guys. And rest in peace to Prodigy, but nah. KRS-One, it's an influence thing, it's a lyrical thing, it's a pioneer thing. I have him in the top 20. I don't know if I agree with him in the spot on the list. I'm just not mad at it. Busta Rhymes deserves to be in the top 10 because he absolutely is revolutionizing to a degree in hip hop. He's a lyricist. He has classic work underneath him. He has an extreme catalog. I think he has classic albums. His first one might be considered a classic for sure, right? That's what got Woo-Ha and everything on it. Acting, influence, absolutely. I like him in the top 10. I like DMX in the top 10. Nicki Minaj, I can't do it in front of a lot of these people when you talk about impact, she's like one of the biggest artists ever. So I understand why she's there. I just can't do it, man, with her in the top 10. I can't. 50 Cent belongs in the top 10. Him at number 6, I'm not mad. LL Cool J in front of a 50 Cent with all the criteria, it's his pioneering that got him over, I guess, the DMXs and the Busta Rhymes and the 50 Cents. And that's the same thing for Rakim, because we really don't turn to Rakim past his influence on lyricism, his lyricism, and him revolutionizing the game. Damn, I pretty much just said all the criteria, though. So Rakim in the top 5, I get it. And then Nas is always going to be top 3. Big usually comes in the top 5. And I absolutely agree with number 1. Jay-Z, he wins the numbers game with all these guys. His body of work, his catalog, he has multiple classic albums, Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, and the rest is the Black Album, so forth and so on. Multiple classic albums, all the number 1 hits, the most success. He's the billionaire on the list, right? Influence, he's the most influential. He made y'all take the spinners off your rims. He made y'all take off the jerseys and put on button-up shirts. He made y'all comfortable to be in y'all 30s. He made y'all not overdo it anymore with auto-tune, death of auto-tune. T-Pain walked out on the stage on that moment. They said that wasn't even scripted. He's extremely the Yankee fitted. The fuck? One of the biggest selling pieces of clothes ever, accessories ever. The Yankee fitted. Outside of New York. That's Jay-Z. He's done it all. Clubs, fucking sports agency, liquor brands, clothing lines. And once again, the music is so, we've had replicas of him. NOE was a replica of him. I know some people will say, yo, he took that shit from Young Guns. But I mean, that's always a debate. But I agree with Jay-Z at number 1. So what I really take from the list is collectively, I like the people, the 50. There's a couple people, like when I mentioned Queen Latifah, it's like, wait, I'm pretty sure if we think real hard, there's going to be missing people from the list. But I like the collective, the placement. It gets better once you get into the top 15, because some of those people are hard to argue out of the top 15 and maybe even the top 20. That's where it gets better. But 21 through 50 is the placement is of some of those people is definitely, but we expect that. That's how all lists go. Okay. That's how all lists go. So drop a comment. Do you agree with the top 5? Is LL in the top 5? Is Rakim in the top 5? Is Big in the top 5? Jay-Z and Nas, you're never gonna put them out of a top 5. But Big, he only had one studio album before he passed away. Right now, the double disc came out after he passed away, I think, but it's a classic. Didn't matter. And then he had another album that dropped after that, right? After he had already passed. His influence, his movement, to this day, he's still revered so much. Big. Some people say he influenced Jay-Z, so he checks a lot of those boxes. There's a movie about the guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, he checks a lot of those boxes. So do y'all have Big in y'all top 5? Is 50 Cent in your top 5? Okay. Is Inspector Deck supposed to be on the list? They literally say he has arguably the best verse ever. He gets argued. That's a hip hop discussion. One of the best verses ever. His verse always comes up, and he's not in the top 50. And he doesn't have does he have a classic album? No, he doesn't. Inspector Deck doesn't have a classic album. Many of the Wu members do. I don't think his solo album is classic though. So, all right, there you have it. Controversial at times, nothing that you got to riot over, but you're never going to agree with a list like this when it come out fully. But collectively, as far as the people that they got in here, I can't be mad.